Weight Loss Journey. I'm Richard Greenland, and this is an update. This is the fourth week, and so let's see how I'm doing. First off, before getting into the weight and everything else, I did set a goal for this past week to keep track of my calories in the MyFitnessPal app. So how did I do? I did okay off and on. I definitely did better than most weeks, but there were a couple days that were just not good. And that will actually explain a lot of why the graph does what it does when I show the graph for my weight loss here. So let's go ahead and do that. As you can see on the screen, I started at 289.8, and I had a little bit of a gain the next day, not much, just a little, and then I dropped quite a bit. I was keeping track. I was doing a good job of keeping track of my calories there. Then the weekend came, and I kind of slacked off on keeping track. Not to mention that my wife also cooked some peanut butter bars and cookies and stuff like that. And yeah, that was not good. You can see that I went way up there, almost to 293. After that, I decided, this is enough. I got to get it under control. And so I kept track of stuff. And even though I did have some peanut butter bars and some cookies in the days following that, I made sure to keep track of my calories, and I, put them in, kept track of those specific peanut butter bars and cookies and anything else, made sure I had the actual calories for it and used that. So using the app and keeping track of the calories helped me get down. I got right back down to that 288.6, which is the lowest I've been since starting this year. Unfortunately, Wednesdays always seem to be bad for me. Not sure why, but yesterday we decided to get some Chinese food, kind of like what you'd see at Panda Express, except we got it at the store in the frozen aisle section. We we decided to get that, and even though I could have kept track of it and just not eaten as much as I did, it had been a while since we'd had any of that, and so I kind of messed up in not telling myself to limit what I'm eating. So totally on me. I gained almost 2.5 pounds between yesterday and this morning. Yesterday morning and this morning. So my final weight is 291 as of this morning. So that's my official weigh-in, basically for this update. So I actually gained weight over the last week compared to the start of the week and now. I gained about a little over a pound. I do know I need to work on this, because that huge spike in the middle and then the small spike at the end are definitely not good things. I could control myself, and it's not really even controlling myself. It's more just getting into the habit of eating only how much I really need or will fill me up, and then not just eating for the heck of it. So I know I can do better. That being said, I still don't feel like this is a loss or anything. I'm still motivated enough to keep going. It's not like, oh, I messed up, I'm going to quit. Because, just think about this. I've already lost 9 pounds this year. I've lost more than that, but I gained it back a little bit. But a net loss of 9 pounds this year. So that for four weeks, that's an average of just over 2 pounds a week. That's pretty good, actually. That's about where nutritionists say that should be the max amount that you're losing per week. So I'm not feeling bad about that part at all. I know I can do better, like I said, but I'm still doing pretty decent. So I'm going to keep it up. I'm going to do a better job of keeping track of my calories, and basically everything. all the rules. I'm going to try and do better. Speaking of rules, let's go over these rules. I'm going to go a little bit faster through them today, just because I don't want to spend a ton of time on stuff that we don't really need to spend so much time on. So first off, looking at the rules, I've put up some smiley faces on the ones that I did well on. That would be the focus on whole grains, legumes, fruits, and vegetables. Don't eat or drink too much sugar. eat a lot of fiber, get enough protein, drink plenty of water, and exercise. I do want to talk about the sugar thing and the exercise thing a little bit more. But other than that, those others that have smiley faces on, they're pretty much self-explanatory, so I'm not going to talk about them. Just know that I did pretty well on those. Let's just go down the list of the ones that are left, though. Limit meat. I did eat more meat this week, especially yesterday when we had the Chinese takeout type stuff. That was almost pure meat there, so I had quite a bit of that. And yeah, that wasn't good. I definitely want to limit that in the future. Stay away from highly processed foods. Generally speaking, I actually did pretty well this week on that. The only time I didn't do really well was the times I mentioned that my thing spiked, my chart spiked there when I was having the cookies and stuff like that, and when I was having the Chinese food. Those were all pretty processed and Chinese food because it was just frozen stuff that we heated up. All processed, high in sodium. The other ones were the higher in sugar. So yeah, that wasn't good there. But the rest of the week I did pretty well. Don't eat or drink too much sugar. That one I did really well, except for the that Saturday Sunday part where I indulged in the peanut butter bars and the cookies and stuff. That thankfully doesn't happen often, but the few times it does, it's not good. Thankfully, though, I was able to lose that weight off again after doing that. So it's just a matter of keeping going, I guess. Next, calories. This is one that I really mentioned earlier on about how I didn't keep track of it the best on some days. So I guess that's pretty self-explanatory, even though I'm not going to give myself a smiley face on it for this week. I've already explained, why. Sleeping at least 7 hours each night. This one's kind of weird because we've decided in our family to try going to bed earlier, but we're also getting up earlier. It's to get more into the same schedule as my wife. She's a baker, and so she wakes up early. And so we're trying to wake up a bit earlier. Not, the kids aren't waking up quite as early as a baker would need to. But we're all trying to get to bed earlier and wake up earlier. And so this week has been a little bit of a trial and error type thing. And so I've been a little bit short on sleep some of the days. Generally speaking, though, I think this experiment we're doing is actually going to help quite a bit in everyone in our family actually getting a better amount of sleep. So we'll see. And then exercise. This is the big thing this week. I actually started exercising. It's still based on steps. But it's more, more organized. Basically what I'm doing, instead of just relying on my watch to tell me when I'm getting to a certain number of steps, it has a built-in program where if I reach my goal, it'll increase the number of steps I'm supposed to take the next day. If I don't meet my goal, it decreases it. Well, this week I made sure that I met my goal every single day. Plus, in the morning, before doing just about anything else, I will just walk in place. Can't really walk outside, too cold. We have a treadmill, but it's a small one, won't handle my weight. So I'm not doing that either. But I am walking in place. And that includes walking back and forth a little bit within the living room and all that. But it's pretty much walking in place because we don't have a huge house. And so just that walking in place, I make sure that I hit 1,500 steps before doing anything else. And so that is kind of a jump start. And I started off just doing 1,000 steps before doing anything else. Now I've upped it to 1,500 steps. And I'm going to keep upping that by a little bit every day, probably maybe 500 a day. Or 500 every 2 days, depending on what I think I can do. And that just helps jumpstart everything so I can reach my goal of steps every day. It also gets my heart rate going in the morning, so I don't fall asleep right away, and it starts things off better. I've felt more energy doing it that way. Also, this coming week, I'm going to try to do a little bit more of actual exercise. We'll see how that works. I might try my own body weight stuff, like I've been saying for the last couple of weeks. Haven't quite gotten there yet, but I'm going to try a little bit of that. I also have a body weight type of machine with pulleys and stuff. It's kind of like the Total Gym, if you've seen the infomercials for that. It's kind of like a generic version of that. But I've got that, and I might be able to do a little bit of that too. We'll see where I feel I'm at. Like I said before, I don't want to go too fast just because I don't want to injure myself, because I've done that before. But I also don't want to go so slow that I don't see the progress that I want. So I'm trying to hit a balance here, but we'll see. So anyways, that's all the update for this week. Definitely leave a comment. Give me any hints that you might have for overcoming. I think my biggest issue is giving in to specific foods that I like. How do you get past that? Because I've noticed that that's kind of a thing with me. If I have certain foods that I really, really like, whether it's pizza, on the other weeks, or the Chinese food this week, or also the peanut butter bars, cookies, sweets and stuff, bakery stuff. How do you get past that? How do you make it so that you don't eat that a ton when it first comes out? Because after the first day or so, like with the peanut butter bars and cookies, the first day or two I had quite a bit, but then after that I was able to limit my intake and keep track of it well, and I was fine. But it was right when it came out, I just saw it and I'm like, whoa, I love that stuff. I just have to have it. And I just kind of let myself eat it. So how do you handle that? Please leave comments below the video. I really want to know how you help with that. If you have any questions or other comments on what I've said in my update, go ahead and leave them too. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do so. And please tell your friends and family about this, especially anyone that might need some help losing weight. And we'll all get through this together. You have a great day.